This reading is for Kara. Kara, thank you so much for allowing me to do your reading today. It really is a high honor for me to be able to do this. I appreciate all your support and encouragement so much. So I decided to do a tarot spread for you, and I did a Celtic cross. I'm including a lot of intuitive stuff that I wrote down before making this spread, but I'm also going to go over what the cards mean for me and what I see for you. Currently, I feel like you have been working on some things. You're doing this more privately, and that's what, the sense that I get with this card is that this is kind of something that you're doing on your own, towards your own personal achievements rather than talking about it in front of other people. I do feel like at times you have a fear of being judged by others. I can definitely relate to that. It was funny because as I put out your cards, I'm like, oh, wow, is this for her or for me? Because a lot of it I feel like I can relate to. I know that you're very proud of the accomplishment that you've just had because it's one more step towards your own definition of success. I know there's this part of you that always worries that you won't get positive feedback from other people if you tell them what you're trying to do. The criticisms, and especially from other people who are in the same field as you. Sorry, I have such a sore throat. We're going to get through this reading though. But I'm like #same because I definitely have those same sort of things pop up. One project that you've had a lot of faith in working out for you, I think you feel a sense that you should be moving away from it. I think it's not exactly what you thought it would be. It's not serving your personal brand and how you want to portray yourself should you go forward with this. So that's, to me, where you're currently at with things. Your challenges kind of reflect the same thing. There is definitely financial challenges popping up, and this isn't so much about making ends meet. I feel like, you're able to do so as best you can, with the economy and being a single income. But you're missing those extras, and you miss having the things that you had in your recent past. But you are trying to maintain that lifestyle and that feeling of stability and security, and that's what's pushing you towards pursuing some of these projects that you're doing and trying to have faith in the ones that just kind of seem You definitely have had a few setbacks recently, but right now I feel like you're bouncing away from that period, and we can talk about that some more because this card came up for your recent past. I do feel like you had like this big bout of situational depression, all that, not that long ago. You had moments definitely where you kind of surrendered to those feelings, probably just stayed under a blanket on your couch, watching your phone or TV and kind of disassociating from life as best you can. But then it's like you had these quick spurts of energy. It's like, okay, you're like laying there and then poof, pop up and motivated for a second, but then right back into this lockdown, this emotional lockdown space. I think these pop-up moments really stemmed from your wanting to stay a strong role model as a mother. You're definitely the type that's going to force a smile for your children or cook a meal, even, on days when it was taking this huge amount of effort to get out of your pajamas or comb your hair, brush your teeth. You definitely were suffering from some mixed up sleep patterns during this time, but you also tried very hard to hide your hurt from your children. I want to remind you that going through that rough patch that you did, it actually, what it did was serve to renew you. I know during that period you definitely weren't able to sense that, but it had a purpose. That, you know, the dark was giving you a deep rest that your soul just really desperately needed to heal. You know, that space, it allowed you kind of to get back in touch with some things you had steered away from, especially when it came to your spiritual connectedness. I feel like it allowed you to kind of get back in touch with your strength, so that when you were doing your work, you were able to pour from a full cup instead of an empty cup, especially when it comes to your role as a spiritual teacher and a spiritual mentor. So the other thing that this period did for you is it gave you time to appreciate and assess how important family is to you. And I'm not just talking about, you know, your blood family, the family that you've created. I'm also talking about your spiritual one. So having those close connections with people who share the same belief system as you. And it was kind of a reminder of how important having that in your life is. But what all of that led to over here is what's coming into your near future for you. Going into your near future, I feel like you're going to once again kind of pick up on some spiritual practices that you've been neglecting, especially while you were being distracted by that depressive period, which I do feel stemmed from feelings you had for somebody who was definitely not meant for you. I see you working more, honestly. I see you working more with a group or something that's established in like a spiritual business practice. If this isn't physically, then I feel like this might be virtually for you, but that you're going to be connected deeply into this. I don't feel like you're going to steer away from your psychic mediumship business and the things that go along with that, but I think this is going to go hand in hand. You're an amazing psychic, you're an amazing medium, but there's this other part of you, and I know you've talked about this before, and you know, I see it every time that I look at you. You have this really green, deep green healing energy. It's just around you. And I do feel like at some point you're going to start to utilize that. I really tried to tap into what, when, where, and what. And I keep feeling you're going to be working with people who are grieving. So I don't know if you're going to maybe do some work with hospice and the families, or some kind of aftercare in that regard. But I do feel like in your future that you're going to be doing more in-person, hands-on type of healing work. And I do feel like it's going to somehow be death related. So I don't know if you've ever considered working as a death doula or some kind of counseling, but I feel like that's going to come up for you. But that part of it is actually not in your near future. That's more in your far future. But I do feel like the signs of that manifesting are coming up in your near future. So I want you to keep an eye out for that. And let me know what you think and feel in that regard. I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to go to part 2. That way it doesn't take as long to upload.